Starting a small business in Canada is a dream that many people have. It makes a lot of sense to become your own boss, especially when the Canadian government is on your side and can provide you business funding to help you start up and expand your business. While many people think the opposite, paying taxes is just crazy and I can't start a business in this type of economy, the truth is that the Canadian economy is actually growing when it comes to entrepreneurship. Small business government funding is available for many industries and to help small business owners fund many needs. So let's get started and see if we can teach you some tricks that help thousands of Canadian entrepreneurs each year obtain funding from the government. Before you can understand that the government funds entrepreneurs across the country, and before you consider the 3 types of funding options mentioned here, it's important to understand why the government actually provides the money. What is their benefit? The best way to think about why the Government of Canada provides small business funding is to break it down. What does the government want? They want more money. It's simple. The more money the government makes from you and every other Canadian paying taxes, the more money is available to further grow the economy, build schools, pay for public transportation, hospitals, make roads, etc. In this case, government funding for small business ownership is actually an investment for the government. A lot of times, the investment is a risk for the government, but thousands of businesses get government funding each year. They invest in business in order to help them start up and to grow, simply because if the business succeeds, it will help in the following ways. 1. Pay more taxes. 2. Be able to hire employees, those who pay taxes. And 3. It will make them receive more of a return and allow them to invest more into that business and others like it. So, as mentioned here, government funding is available for small business owners all across Canada. Funding comes in many forms, such as government grants, most popular and desired type of funding, government loans, tax breaks or tax credits. While everyone just wants to get funding, it's not always just as easy as filling out an application form and waiting to get the money. The government funding search and application process is actually a very complicated one, which is why a lot of startup entrepreneurs first turn to companies like ours to get the expert assistance. But to give you a bit of a jump start, here are 3 tips that will help your small business make some headway with your own government funding search and application process. While government funding is available for many purposes, including your startup or setup costs, business advice, the costs associated with developing your products or services, purchasing equipment, hiring staff, marketing, renovations, and so much more, it's important to not only rely on those specific criteria. If you have a business or are starting a small business in Canada, you may be eligible. So let's review the 3 key tips to securing you funding as shown here. Tip number 1. When searching for specific funding needs, be sure to break down your needs accordingly so that you may be able to apply for multiple programs. Since government funding agencies break down the funding amounts provided based on specific funding needs, not all programs offer funding for all funding needs. This means that a program that funds only marketing and advertising costs for business owners will not provide you funding to help you hire staff, etc. Tip number 2. Funding needs are not the only criteria to consider when searching for small business funding. When looking for funding programs, be sure to look at the 3 main categories: your location, your industry, and then your funding needs. Certain programs, while they may be available for the funding needs that you have, may not be available for your location or industry. Be sure to check that out before you start to apply. And tip number 3. Knowing how to search for small business funding is critical. If you need funding, learn how to search for funding and how the government categorizes its programs. For example, if you need funding to be able to buy a new construction truck, most people would think that searching for truck funding, funding to buy a truck, vehicle funding, but this would come up short. Quickly, you may be disappointed to find out that there are no construction truck funding programs. So instead, be sure to look at the greater picture. A truck will fit into the purchase and improve equipment category. These are just 3 initial tips, and simply following these 3 will ensure that you are one step closer to your success. As you start your business, look for funding and consider navigating the difficult world of government grants, government loans. Simply trying to wrap your head around it all is complicated. We are here to help. The Canada Startups experts are available 24/7 to assist you with your business goals, as well as the funding search. Leave a comment, ask for help, and visit us for personalized guidance for your own unique business.